sex abuse cases is that being a homo or a heterosexual is not a lifestyle. It's a sexual preference. It's one that you're stuck with. I would think most of us who consider ourselves heterosexuals don't come out of the closet at 40 or thereafter. We are heterosexuals from the time we can remember. And I can tell you that I believe that Duane Hurley was homosexual from the time that he could remember. And that's not a lifestyle that he chose, that's the hand he was dealt. What made it very difficult for Duane, in my opinion, was the fact that his preference, at least as evidenced by this case, was directed towards early pubescent males. And to me, somehow, that's getting cheated in life because there is no legal way to express that sexual preference. If you do it, you're going to be arrested. If you look at photographs of others doing it or possess them, you're going to be arrested. And I'm not sure that Duane, I am sure that Duane was not sophisticated enough to identify that problem. And certainly there aren't a lot of people out in society with open arms who would have wanted to help him deal with it. So, he was depressed. No question in my mind. He treated for it. In my view, his mood disorder was not in remission. The number of material things that he purchased that he didn't need, automobiles, collectibles, to the extent that it almost put him in bankruptcy, is almost diagnostic for profound mood disorder. It's an effort to constantly change something, to bring something new into your life that maybe you can be happy about for a few minutes. But I would say to everyone that anyone who thinks that Duane Hurley was a happy man living with this is mistaken. And I wish he had an opportunity to be happy. Although the expression of that particular sexual preference is never going to be sanctioned by our society, I think we certainly ought to be able to empathize with those who are stuck in that regard. Those folks will never be able to have a mature relationship. For a heterosexual with a female, or a gay man for another man, that close, intimate relationship will not be possible. It wasn't Duane Hurley's fault. That's the hand he was dealt. That's certainly the hand that he was stuck with. I'd like to say also that, there has been a discussion around with respect to this case and the fact that it involves two people of the same sex. This case is not about gay men. I think most of us here know that are in this courthouse day after day understand that most sex offenses against young people are committed by heterosexual males, not by gay men. So I certainly find no fault with Duane Hurley for what occurred to him probably at birth. I feel bad that there would never be a way that he could express that sexual preference in any meaningful way with anyone without breaking the law. And I hope that people remember Duane for all the good that he did for kids. Most of it altruistic. Nevertheless, this is a serious offense, as Attorney Silla pointed out. And the court found, after hearing all of the evidence, and I don't think there's anyone who's any more familiar with the facts of this case than I am, I found that Daniel was under extreme emotional stress brought on by provocation sufficient to incite him to use deadly force. I reviewed the victim impact statements, or statement that expressed the view of the Hurley family, and I recall that the impression that was received, at least from the gallery, was that when Daniel had his photograph taken at St. John and West Shore Hospital, he was light of heart, posing in the light. I was able to view the photographs because they were marked as evidence. So I reviewed the medical records that St. John and West Shore Hospital collected from Daniel's treatment there, hoping that I might find something that would indicate to me that in reducing this case from murder to manslaughter, that I may have made the right decision. According to the medical records, Daniel arrived and was admitted to a room at the hospital at about 10 minutes to 9. The hospital staff described him as tearful, hyperventilating, and threatening suicide. His vital signs were taken. His blood pressure was 171/72, and his heart rate was 146 beats per minute. Approximately 4 hours later, after the administration of some medication, Daniel's blood pressure was still 156/65, and his heart rate was...
All right, we're out of time for today, but be sure to check our social media, Twitter and Facebook, for updates on the sentencing hearing. Plus, Jack Bradley's going to be live with us, taking calls and answering questions. Don't worry, every minute of this sentencing hearing we will have on In Session tomorrow. It is your front row seat to justice.